Hi, everyone. Welcome back to some examples of things that I do when I am trying to navigate my loss journey. Today's session is about practices during the holidays. And in particular, today I wanted to focus on things that I do when I am traveling or in a space for a long period of time and I need a release. This These things are things that you can do sitting in a chair, so I invite you to grab a chair, but if you feel like sitting on your mat in a comfortable seat, you're welcome to sit however you like. This is also especially useful for people who may have mobility issues, so I invite you to share this with others and, of course, to subscribe to the channel so you can see when we post new videos. So I'm going to start today by just sharing some simple exercises to first focus and ground yourself. Lots of times when we're feeling carried away by anxiety, it's because our mind is racing and we're feeling out of control. Life as we want to live it doesn't exist anymore. And it can be really hard to share a smile or think of things all happy and jolly when all you're remembering is that somebody you loved so dearly isn't with you anymore. So let's start by just focusing ourselves in the moment. And I invite you to bring the soles of your feet to the earth. If you can take your shoes off, that's great. But I know sometimes if you're on an airplane or in a car, that's not going to be very feasible. So the idea is just to feel the soles of your feet, however they are, resting on the surface beneath you and feeling some connection to that. And I invite you to take your palms and place them down on the tops of your legs over by your knees. And just close your eyes and breathe a few times. Just feeling a connection to yourself. So we're slowly starting to shed the distractions that are going on around us. You might take a moment and just to notice what is going on around you. What is the furthest sound that you hear? It may be a bird or a dog, something in the neighborhood, a car driving by. Maybe there's a clock ticking or a faucet dripping, a washing machine churning, whatever it is. Just notice the sounds and just know that they're all outside of you. You don't need them to interfere with your moment right now. We're going to start with the top of our head now and just notice with your mind the location of the top of your head on your body. Maybe you are a little bit forward of your torso. Your torso might be folded a little forward. Maybe you're in your chair and you're leaning back. Just notice what that natural position is for you right now. Sometimes when we're feeling down or heavy, that sitting back motion is what takes over. And sometimes when we've got anxiety and a to-do list a mile long, we're going to be forward. Wherever it is, just notice it. And then consciously pull your belly button in towards your spine and lift your shoulder blades up towards your ears. Feel it clenching, clenching, clenching. And then slowly, as if you're releasing a big, heavy cape, let your shoulder blades come back behind you and let them just flow down your back. And take a nice breath there. Just imagining all of that you were carrying, just releasing off of you. And we're going to do that a couple more times. So taking a breath in Clenching, 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 bringing those shoulders up, up, up towards the ears, and then gently rolling them back, releasing them down, letting them come to an area of lightness. And then one more time, lifting, 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 releasing. Just feel that tension. It's dead, it's all there, but you can just let it go, at least for a few moments, freeing yourself of that weight. And then we're going to go ahead and take our right hand out in front of us and cross that right arm across your body and bring your left forearm to your right forearm and just gently press in to stretch that right arm across your torso. Then breathe in a few times. Again, remembering here, I'm going to show you the back, keeping your shoulders down. So if your tendency is to go like this, let your shoulders release back down behind you. And we will just breathe in here. And then go ahead and release that arm. We'll take the left arm out, cross, right forearm to left forearm, pulling gently, just pressing to create some tension. So you'll press your left shoulder out and bring your forearm in to get a nice opening in the shoulder blades. I feel this even all the way down to the along my rib area down to the top of my lower back. Just releasing. Again, the breath is one of the most important parts of the practice. So it's not just the physical movement, but it's feeling the complete inhales and experiencing the full surrender of the exhale. And when you've exhaled, exhale a little bit more, because we're always carrying something. Go ahead and release that. And now we'll take our right arm up and bend that right arm so that you're patting yourself on the back. And then we'll take our left hand to our right elbow and just very gently pulling that right elbow back towards the wall behind you. Breathing in here. Again, this is another one. I can feel this all the way from my shoulder down my lower back ribs and even a little bit in the top of my hip. And go ahead and release that. And then we'll come to the opposite side, bending that elbow, right hand on left elbow, gentle tug, still feeling your feet connected to the ground. That grounding feeling is very helpful in times of stress and anxiety. It's a reminder that you are here right now. You're in this moment. And you can experience this moment with all that comes with it. You don't need to be in a past moment. You don't need to worry about a future moment. You're just here right now, taking care of yourself with a little bit of yoga. I think that's a great use of your time. And then go ahead and release that and pause for a moment. You may feel a nice, almost like flushing feeling in your arms as you release them and let the fingertips come down towards the earth. Take a couple of breaths here. We're going to do a couple seated cat-cows. So you'll place your hands on your knees, and just like you would if you were in tabletop position, you're going to inhale in, and you're going to let your heart guide. So opening the heart up, letting the gaze come up, feeling the opening in the back, lifting from your tailbone up, that nice arc, maybe bringing your gaze to the ceiling. And then exhaling, pulling your belly button back in towards your spine, and very slowly, you want to feel every little move along the way. Feeling and experiencing those sensations along with the breath helps you process it and let it all move. Inhaling in. I like to think of it as if you were washing a glass. When you hurry and wash and you just rinse it quickly, you may be left with remnants of a little bit of smoothie, a couple of tea leaves, whatever it might be. But when you take time to really let each piece flush out, experiencing that cleansing, then what you're left with can be nice and fresh and ready for its next adventure. And if you're doing these on your own, like I said, I invite you to remember some of these, or even to bring this video along with you on a plane or on a trip. Just flow through each one however it feels good. I'm only doing 4 or 5 of these, but you can do many more depending on what your body's asking for. And take an inhale, come back to center, and we're going to do a couple of twists. So again, I'm still sitting in my chair here. We can lift our arms up. If you have a plane above you, you can do this with your arms in cactus. And we're going to just rotate to the right to start, and maybe bringing your right elbow onto the back of the seat. And you can bring your left hand over to your right wrist if you want to have a little bit of a deeper twist. I'll show you this way. So I'm pressing my right forearm into the chair. I've got my left fingers on my right wrist, and I'm gently pressing into the back of the chair with my elbow to help me in my rotation. Inhaling and exhaling. The inhaling helps you lift and lengthen, and the exhale, maybe you can rotate a little bit more. Again, these rotations are very nice cleansing activities. And we'll release. Again, we'll take a moment for the pause. Just notice how that feels. And then we'll come to the opposite side. So arms in cactus or arms up overhead, whatever works better for you. I've got my left arm now on the chair, my right hand on my left wrist. Just feeling this twisting, like a wringing out of a dirty towel. The breath rinses and the rotation cleanses. And we'll go ahead and come back to center. And we'll do some hip openers now. I like to start with a seated figure 4. So taking your right ankle onto your left knee, and you can have your hands on your shin. And take a moment to really feel your sits bones anchored into the chair. Lifting up again, pulling your belly button back into your spine. Reminding yourself to be aligned. Inhaling in and exhaling, come forward just so you start to feel some sensation. So for me, the first thing I feel is a little bit of pulling right here in my outer hip. And I'll inhale again and exhale to come forward a little bit more. With that next move, I could start to feel it a little bit more in my lower back. And this might be exactly where you want to stay. Breathing, feeling that front bottom foot connected to the earth beneath you. Maybe gently pressing down on the bent knee. so that you feel like your hips are aligned, pulling your belly in to keep that straightened, straight spine. You may want to experience what it feels like if you come down into a much deeper fold. It'll be a different sensation. And just play with what feels right. I know for me, when I've been sitting for a long time, especially if it's in a car, some place where you're not getting up and walking around or moving regularly, it can really cause tightening for me in my hips. So this can feel really nice. And then go ahead and release that. Come back up. Switch legs. So we'll take our left ankle onto our right knee, pulling the belly in, aligning, lengthening, and then slowly just coming forward just a little bit, just to see what it feels like. The next inhale, lengthening, and then coming forward a little bit more until you find that sweet spot, which is that area of sensation where you can feel the rinsing and releasing. Letting the breath be what hoses it down. Cleansing breaths. And we'll come back up and place that foot down and see what your body's asking for. You may want to go back and do a few of something we already did. I know if you have a place where you can stand up, I also recommend that it can be nice to do some forward folds or some standing versions of the figure four. If you're in an airport or waiting area, or even if you're just at home and you need to take a quick little break, one easy one is just to take a nice deep breath in and fold forward and let yourself come into a forward fold. Feeling the release all along your lower back and your legs. You can do this seated as well in a chair. Inhaling in and exhaling forward and letting yourself just rest. Letting your belly just land on your thighs. And then again, using your core muscles to slowly come up, letting your fingertips just trace their way up your body, up the front of your legs, finding that center point. We're going to close with just a very brief meditation, and you can take this as long as you'd like. I'm going to do this for just about a minute. So take your right hand underneath your left armpit and your left hand under your right armpit. And just feel yourself giving yourself a hug. Have your thumbs right in front of your armpits and your fingertips wrapping around the back of your upper ribs. And give your eyes a gentle close, or find a spot right in front of you for your drishti, for your focus point, your gaze. Keep it gentle. Inhaling and exhaling. All you're doing here is watching your breath. Having some awareness. You want this hug that you're giving yourself to feel good. So if you feel like you're straining, relax a little. Be kind to yourself. You'll feel the rise and fall. You bring your attention to that spot between your eyebrows, your third eye center, your Ajna chakra. This is where all the wisdom and insight and intuition presents itself for you when you're quiet and calm enough to notice it. Letting yourself be, letting yourself feel. Your mind wanders to your to-do list or to some memories from the past. Just nod, say yes, I'll come back to you, and let it float by. Imagining your mind as a clear sky with clouds that float by every once in a while. There might be dark clouds. There might be clouds lit by rays of sunshine. They may take shapes. They may be scattered. They may be dense. Each moment of our clouds in our mind is different. Just notice it. Just appreciate it. And feel free to stay here and rest for as long as you'd like. When you're ready to finish, just release your hands. A nice breath up. Exhale. And thank you for joining me.